Most people throughout their life, when they get to the weekend and they get to that Friday night they've always been looking forward to after a nice long week at work, most of them have an idea of what their life looks like. It might consist of a fun getaway with the friends to experience something new. It might even be a fun adventure with the family that we haven't had a chance to have in a long time. Or for many of us, it might be the roar of a sporting event that we've been dying to go to for quite some time, but never really found the good place to do it. Well, what if I told you I experienced something very, very early on in my life that allowed me to experience all three of those things in some way, shape, or form, and they all had one thing in common? My name is Michael Walsh, and welcome back to the Game Time Voice YouTube channel. And we're going to be doing something a little bit different here today in this video, as it's not going to be a Game Time Voice report or a commentary highlight that I often get a chance to do on this channel. This is more so an essay I've wanted to do for a long, long time about a way for me to experience all three things that were just talked about. And that entire experience was culminated in one place, right here, at a small ice hockey rink that holds just over 6,000 fans that most people know as a concert venue or multi-purpose arena or anything like that. But for me, it was always home. It was always a place I could escape to, whether it be after school or after sports that I participated in. It was a getaway that I often never really knew or understood how important it was. But now being 27 years old and 23 years into something I can't really describe unless you've experienced it, I now understand how important this aspect of my life has been for quite some time. And I'm very excited to get a chance to bring you along for the journey. Welcome back to a life on ice, my journey as a UMass Lowell hockey fan. It all started when I was about 4 or 5 years old, and even back then, which is probably around 2003 or 2004 or so, it seemed like being a sports fan, especially in the city of Boston, was somewhat unbearable. Yes, you could experience awesome games on local television networks like NECN, NBC Sports Boston, NESN, or ESPN in any way, shape, or form. But for many of us, there was nothing better than the roar of a crowd at a live sporting event that you really couldn't comprehend or duplicate if you could in any way. Now, we all have our favorite sports teams, and most often is the case, it's the pro sports teams. And here in Boston, it's no different with our beloved Bruins, Celtics, Red Sox, Patriots, Revolution, or any of the pro teams. We all kind of share in a bond of those teams that have followers all around the world sometimes. For myself, and for 23 years of my adult life, really, my experience as a fan and as a fandom really kicked off for one very special group. That would be the UMass Lowell River Hawks, a team that plays out of Lowell, Massachusetts, and is a Division One collegiate hockey program in one of the toughest conferences in the country, Hockey East, with the same conference that teams like Boston College, Boston University, Northeastern University, UNH, Maine, and many other powerhouses in NCAA hockey share the conference with. And it's these amazing young men that really gave me my first inkling as to what it means to be a true passionate sports fan. And while most sports fans spend their times at places like TD Garden, Fenway Park, Gillette Stadium, and many other bright and amazing sporting venues that you can find all over the country, for me, my weekends from October until about March was spent in one place, the Tsongas Center, an amazing multi-purpose complex that had seen its ups and downs and very many shares of closings and reopenings and many different iterations that has hosted UMass Lowell hockey for many, many years. So much so that it's gone under many different iterations. It was the Tsongas Arena and was owned by the city of Lowell and brought in many different teams and many different minor hockey league operations like the Lowell Lock Monsters and the Lowell Devils from the AHL, the minor league affiliates for most NHL teams. Now, some of you might be wondering, oh, it's a collegiate hockey team. Did you have connections? Did you have a family member who had their undergrad, or did you yourself go to college there and it's been your team ever since? And I would probably be saying, no, absolutely not. In reality, I only had very really two connections to this school before I began following the team in 2004 and 2005. And it was these two amazing people. My Uncle Kevin on the left and my Aunt Rose on the right both got their masters in education at the University of Massachusetts Lowell. And so that was really the only sort of connection I had with the university, and really no other connection up until I became a fan. And oftentimes they would accompany me on trips to games in every sort of way. The funniest part being is that even though my uncle here joined the UMass Lowell graduate program, his undergrad was done at Boston University, oftentimes a major opponent for UMass Lowell. And so his fandom for Lowell and his fandom for BU would often tie into my trips to the Tsongas Center. I often found myself diving headfirst into fandom so often I would want every jersey, I would want every bit of merch, and I would beginning to start to do weekly traditions whenever we would go to UMass Lowell hockey games. And if someone were to ask you, where can you find Michael before a UMass Lowell hockey game? Well, there was one very specific spot, and that spot was here. Approximately 38 minutes before the start of puck drop, my dad and I would get there about an hour before the game when doors would open, and I would rush to this spot right here. Whether it be on home or on the road, wherever I went, I would always make a chance to stay right by the tunnel before the players came out for warm-ups. Oftentimes, not knowing where that tradition would lead me, where in this case, it would fall all the way to Fenway Park when UMass Lowell played an outdoor game against Northeastern University. Or it would be here in the famous black and gold seats of TD Garden whenever the River Hawks would make it all the way to either the semifinals or the finals of the Hockey East Championship at TD Garden. I would be there waiting for the boys to come out, trying to make sure they knew they had at least one fan supporting them before they hit the ice. And as you could see, oftentimes I wouldn't be by myself. There would be plenty of other kids joining me at the tunnel doing the best they could to get high fives, although they were often more concerned with trying to get a puck or a stick, and oftentimes they wouldn't even know the players' names. But I was a little bit different. I knew all the players' names, I knew all their nicknames, I knew how they were doing and how bad they were doing or how good they were doing, trying to give them a little bit of encouragement. And this would go on for many more years as I became a true hockey fan of this team, so much so that it said led to some incredible things, including this right here. My picture plastered, giving a high five to former Riverhawk John Edward as he's about to take the ice. So much so that it made it into next year's season tickets for a game against Notre Dame. You'll see my face plastered all over the ticket as many ways as you can, and making sure that everyone knew who really was the true hockey fan. So whether it was at TD Garden visiting the relics of the old Boston Garden, getting a picture there, spending 20 of our 23 years as season ticket holders at our favorite spot, section 117, row 10, seats 1 and 2, following the boys on the road right here at Matthews Arena, the home of Northeastern Huskies and one of the oldest arenas in the country before it closes down this year, or even during the pandemic, watching from home but still dressed in full gear. No matter where I went, I was always supporting the boys. Now, as this sort of grew and grew, and my obsession, I call it an obsession. It really is an obsession because I planned my entire year around these many months of following these collegiate hockey players, trying to be the best that they can, and really being everywhere that I can find a chance to get to a game, no matter where it is in the New England region. And oftentimes, this fandom has led to memories that some people spend their entire lives trying to get a chance to make, and memories that I will never ever forget. Memories like getting a chance to take a picture with the Stanley Cup after the Bruins brought it home after 39 years in 2011, of course, decked out in our UMass Lowell hockey jerseys. Getting a chance to skate on the ice at Fenway Park with the Green Monster in the background. No matter what seems to happen, there's always been a memory that I can attach to my fandom of this team, including what you just saw right there at Fenway Park, where after a skate, my dad and I got a chance to ride the train back home with the UMass Lowell hockey team, and even had to navigate that amazing traffic at the T station and switch cars with the entire team. There's also been some amazing memories and fandom moments where I've lost my voice sometimes, screaming and cheering for this team that I will never ever forget. Whether it be 2009, my first venture into TD Garden, where I was fully a UMass Lowell hockey fan and got a chance to watch them play at the Garden Ice and watch Scott Campbell put home a game tying goal with 19 seconds left in the Hockey East semifinal against Northeastern, followed up with a game winning goal in overtime by Chris Auger that sent the Riverhawks to their first Hockey East championship in many years. Or whether it be all over the country in mid-season tournaments winning silverware, as well as those mid-season tournaments that they would hold on home ice, there's always a chance to grab a trophy throughout the year for the Riverhawks, and that's oftentimes the best case scenario. And finally, I can't forget one of the best memories I've had as a UMass Lowell fan on the ice when Derek Arnold scored on a wraparound in the third period, and the current MVP and best goalie in the NHL, Connor Hellebuck, stopped all 38 shots he faced against the Boston University Terriers to give UMass Lowell its first ever Hockey East championship back in 2013. The Riverhawks have added two more Hockey East championships, a couple regular season championships, and a couple regional championships, and one Frozen Four appearance since then. And of course, I was there the whole time documenting these amazing memories that I'll be able to tell my kids someday that this is what it looks like to be fully engulfed as a sports fan. But for myself, as a now 27-year-old who's been following this team my whole life and now gets a chance to look back at this amazing journey that I've been on and really reflect as to what has been the amazing part of this entire thing, well, it's really quite simple. Is it the championships and the success that the Riverhawks have accrued over the years since I've been a fan in a conference where oftentimes they can play second fiddle to the Boston teams? Is it the fact that my fandom can be so great sometimes that even well known characters like Donald Duck will stop me and ask me about the Riverhawks? Or is it because oftentimes I get to hang out with one of the best mascots in sports, Rowdy the Riverhawk, who sees me every time I'm at the Tsongas Center and has become such a part of the family that even my dad and my mother and our family dog Shay has now become best friends with Rowdy. But ironically, it's none of that stuff. It's not the championships. It's not the mascots. It's not the travel. It's not the merch. It's none of that. To me, quite simply, it's one main reason. It's this. It's the chance that I've had for almost 20 years, almost 90% of my life, that I've gotten a chance to do this. No matter what has happened throughout the week, no matter what has happened in my life and what's happened in his, it's the chance to do something with my dad. Whether it was myself as a student and now working in the workforce in Massachusetts, or his life as a court officer for most of his time and now retired full time. We've gotten a chance to travel with this team all across New England and sometimes cross country, even, whether it be at Holy Cross just down the road in Massachusetts, taking a trip up north to Manchester, New Hampshire to watch these boys in the regionals and the NCAAs, or even right in their backyard in Boston and seeing them at Boston College, one of the meccas in college hockey at the Connie Forum. We followed them through ups and downs, wins and losses at TD Garden in any way, shape, or form, and watched them raise a couple banners in that building in the process. We even waited 4 years while I was off at college and another year because of a pandemic. But the first chance we got, we were right back at the Tsongas Center in our favorite seats, masked up, waited to cheer on our favorite team again. This is the reason why I'm a huge fan of this team. It's memories, it's moments, it's times that often people tell me they didn't get a chance to do as much as they want to, but I got to spend 6 months sometimes out of the year every weekend, whether it be home or on the road with my dad, experience something that we both love, a fandom that we can both share with this UMass Lowell hockey team. and more so in the past few years than any other of the previous years that we've spent following this amazing group of young men around the region of New England. We've both realized something very, very important. It's become therapeutic. It's become a chance to get away from all the crap we deal with throughout our lives and throughout our day to day upbringings, that we get a chance for a couple hours to watch a team we thoroughly enjoy and just get away from all of our nonsense. And I'm not going to lie, oftentimes it can be tiring. Hopping in cars, hopping in trains, sometimes even hopping on planes, following this team all over the case. But even if you get a chance to sneak a nap every now and again, I wouldn't change it for the world. So now people often come up to me and say, who are you rooting for the most to win a championship next? Is it the Bruins to bring a Stanley Cup back to Boston for only the second time since 1972? Is it the Celtics to make a milestone 20th championship banner hang above the Garden rafters? Is it the Patriots having a chance to return to dominance after an incredible year and bring a seventh Lombardi trophy to one Patriot place? Or is it the Red Sox bringing home another World Series and turning it around as best they can from a team looking for just one championship to now one of the most successful teams in recent memory? For me, it's real, real simple. As much as those teams I want to succeed and I have seen succeed, they just don't compare to my love and affection and sometimes even emotion I get watching these group of young men battle it out with some of the best players in the country any given night. So now I'm excited for the week and the season ahead as we are getting ever so close to our return to Tsongas Center. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this step away from my normal content and taking a look at someone that means so much to me and has been a part of my life for many, many years. If you like this type of video, if you like this new content, don't forget to leave a like, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, and enable that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new videos. My name is Mike Walsh, and I thank you guys for joining me for another video here on the Game Time Voice YouTube channel. And I will see you guys next time. And remember, no matter what you do, no matter what you think, always and forever, let's go Riverhawks.